This video is a continuation of the previous video. To view the previous video, click the link. This video continues the discussion of how the archetypes evolved from the tribal roles. In the previous videos, I discussed how gender, authority, and relative wealth affect a person's position in society. These three factors define a person's role. Roles form the first pattern in the construction of the 7 tribal roles. Another important aspect of these patterns is function. Roles and functions define the patterns and relationships of man within society. While these roles highlight the individual in interactions, the functions focus on how the parts contribute to the needs of the whole group. French philosopher Auguste Comte was an influential figure in the study of sociology. He expanded sociology by drawing analogies from biology and anatomy. He pointed out the similarities between members of the society and parts of the body. The brain, the blood, the muscles, and bones perform different functions in the human body. Similarly, different parts of society fulfill unique functions. I believe this makes sense because societies are individuals having their own needs and desires. 3 main functions of society are the satisfaction of basic human needs, group identity, and the preservation of order. I have observed 2 patterns in my study of societal functions. One is the principle of diversity, and the other is the principle of specialization. Each will play a part in the conception of tribal roles. Diversity is the quality of containing variety and variability among members of a social group. Specialization, on the other hand, is the concentration of effort within the tribe into specific areas of need. One way to illustrate this is through what Charles Darwin uncovered in the Galapagos Islands. In the Galapagos Islands in the Pacific, he observed variations in the beaks of finches. These birds, although closely related, have developed different types of beaks. Developing different beaks is diversity. The drive to focus on a specific niche of food like insects or fish is specialization. Diversity happens when a social group expands their needs and develops newer functions. Consider for a moment what happens when a tribe learns how to create fire and gathers every night. Then the role of entertainer, musician, and jester becomes essential. Naturally, one funny teen, a father, or a young man fills in to play this function. As this need for entertainment is developed over the campfire, a group of friends produces instrument and chants to produce music. This quest for improvement in folk music is called specialization. Consequently, the tribe makes a special social space for them to perform. After aggregating the roles based on gender and family, I could extract 6 roles: the father, the mother, the grandfather, the grandmother, the son, and the daughter. I then proceeded to complement them with authority role factors. They are the leaders, the servants, and the intermediaries. Next, I reduced the father role from the typical father to that of a certain function of fathers. This father function is of an authority leader to a minority group in the tribe. I also reduced the mother image into 3 components: the mother of a young infant dependent for protection, the mother with grown sons with a growing influence over the tribe, and a mother with a small network but influence over the chief. The first aligns with the child tribal role. The second aligns with the elder tribal role. The third aligns with the young women tribal role. My goal for these adjustments is to create purposeful categories using 2 main criteria. The first is the diversity of functions, and the second is specialization of functions. This is how I formulated the 7 tribal roles: the father, the child, the priest, the elder, the young men, the chief, and the young women. Each role is assigned a nominal category name with the most common function to describe the category. What are tribal roles? Tribal roles are a broad spectrum of collective roles based on gender, authority, and social status. These roles promote cooperation and interdependence in the context of one tribal unit in primitive society. Because they are roles, they are associated with a certain behavior linked to the position they hold. Each position plays a dynamic in the ecosystem of the tribe. Together, they form the 7 collective functions in a tribal way of life. English anthropologist Alfred Radcliffe Brown argued that the goal of anthropological research was to find the collective functions. His theory of functions, for example, is how religious beliefs about marriage change the social order as a whole. I would like to allude to a different collective function, a function that details how different categories in a group participate in the social order of the whole. I have detailed the functions of these categories. These are the functions of the 7 tribal roles. First, the father tribal role. They are the moralists of tribal society. They determine acceptable behavior in the group. They develop abstract standards for acceptance for other roles. They assess the just division of labor and proper compensation for each individual's contribution. Second, the child tribal role. They are the followers of tribal society. They follow instructions by the knowledge generator. They obey the guides of performance by the moralists. They provide labor contribution. Third, the priest tribal role. They are the knowledge aggregators of tribal society. They are interested in upholding the structure of the organization. They develop detailed rules and instruction for accepted work. They take regular notes of progress on tasks and development to report to the leader. Fourth, the elder tribal role. They are the connectors of tribal society. They transmit decisions made by the leader to the followers. They relay the opinions of other players to the leader. They maintain healthy relationships among the members. Fifth, the young men tribal role. They are the enforcers of tribal society. They enforce the norms of the group to the members. They maintain good standing with the leader. They assist groups with conflicts. Sixth, the chief tribal role. They are the leaders of tribal society. They gather feedback on effectiveness of the group strategies. They set macro-level goals and provide strategic changes for the group. They form the core of defense and attack when interacting with hostile forces. Seventh, the young women tribal role. They are the support of tribal society. They provide special insight on the work, including other workers' conditions. They provide indirect motivation to the group through emotional support. They provide labor contribution. These 7 clusters in societies form broad sections of the whole. Focusing on each section allows for a simpler analysis of their interactions. I have created functional abstractions of these tribal roles into modern societies. These are what I call the 7 human archetypes. Although tribal roles are often outdated in explaining modern social order, it is a valuable context to explain modern society. Just as the study of history helps us understand the world, the 7 tribal roles provide us categories of context to frame our modern society. The simple relationships contained in primitive villages explain the functions at play in the complex systems of modern societies. So, what are the 7 human archetypes? Evolved from the tribal role of the father, the idealist archetype creates mental theories, symbols, and standards for modern society. Evolved from the tribal role of the child, the servant archetype excels in managing work and systems. Evolving from the tribal role of the priest, the teacher archetype lives in the community of education and knowledge. Evolving from the tribal role of the elder, the speaker archetype thrives in expanding culture by expressing his emotions in social interactions. Evolved from the tribal role of the young men, the explorer archetype provides variety and diversity to the economy. Evolving from the tribal role of the chief, the ruler archetype excels in creating efficient hierarchies of management in companies and communities. Evolved from the tribal role of the young women, the artist archetype lives with a greater sense of purpose and motivation. In touch with their feelings and deeper meanings of life, they create new realities. These are the 7 human archetypes. Questions for reflection. Who is playing moralist in your organization? Who are the top connectors? How do they do it? Who are the knowledge aggregators in your organization? What are the specifics of the role you play? This is now my 3rd video. Thank you for watching and for supporting me. This is my channel, The Sevens of Perfection. Please take the time to reflect in your life. You have this opportunity to grow. And click the subscribe button below so that you will be subscribed to my next videos. If you have some thoughts that you would want to share, please feel free to comment here in YouTube. Or you could follow others in my Facebook group, The Sevens of Perfection. Please follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Don't forget to always take care of yourself, whatever the situation and whatever you do. My name is Ian Jay Bantilan. This is the Sevens of Perfection channel, saying stay safe and be blessed.